They can extract that transaction cost that we talked about earlier. So preparation is the key to greatness. Preparation is the key to success. Preparation is the key to power. Sacrifice is the only pathway to wealth, typically in America. And so the last thing I want to show you, just so you can understand that this isn't just a pie in the sky conversation. This is something anybody in this room can do, no matter what your income level is. I'm going to show you one more chart before we go. Now, by the way, that a lot of this other content is on my Instagram page, which is Dr. Boyce Finance. So feel free to follow me at Dr. Boyce Finance if you want to, if you're on Instagram. And then also, I do have a podcast. It's called the Dr. Boyce Breakdown. So if you look up my name, Boyce Watkins, on Spotify, you can find the podcast there. I put stuff up there almost every day. Right. So let me show you one more thing that's on my Instagram, Dr. Boyce Finance. Check this out. This is the $5 a day plan. A lot of you all know about this, but I want to lay it out mathematically. And let's compare it to a $5 cup of coffee. Now, for $5, you can't actually get a good cup of coffee at Starbucks, but let's just pretend, okay? So here in this chart, you see that if I spend money on coffee every day, which is okay to buy coffee, I'm not telling you not to buy coffee. I'm saying that this is what you're spending if you're buying coffee every day, right? So over 5 years, I spent about $9,125, 10 years, 18,000, 15 years, 27,000, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If I take that same amount of money, not a replacement, a supplement, do you understand? Let me know if you get what I'm saying. I'm not saying stop buying coffee. I'm not one of those idiots that says, oh, well, if you don't buy coffee anymore or don't buy shoes anymore, if you walk around barefoot, then you can have $1 trillion. No, you ain't got to be barefoot. You can keep drinking your coffee. You can go to on vacation. You can go to the club and pop a bottle if you want to. I'm not talking about replacing what you're doing. I'm talking about supplementing. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about eating your vegetables before you get to dessert. I'm not telling you to stop eating dessert. Enjoy your dessert. Just eat something healthy too. Okay. So here's how much money that person has in their investment account if they simply blindly invest in the S&P 500, literally just throw their money in there, grab any S&P 500 stock. This is how much money they have on average. After 5 years, they have $10,707. So let's just stop right there. Let's freaking stop right there. Let's not even get to the fun numbers. 5 years. 5 years. Let me ask you a question. If somebody says that they're poor, but they have $10,707 in their stock portfolio, would you believe them? Would you consider that person to be poor? If they say, "Man, I'm struggling, dog. It's hard out here. I can barely make it." But then you look at their Robinhood account, they have $10,707. Would that person be considered poor anymore? Okay, Veronica says yes. She's the only one I see a yes with. I don't know a single person in poverty that has $10,700 in their stock portfolio. Most people can't even come up with $1,000 for an emergency expense. So literally, all we're talking about is a 5-year sacrifice. This is how sick our country has become, that we're not even prepared to make a 5-year sacrifice for ourselves. But we'll make a 5-year sacrifice for other things. I've seen people sacrifice 5 years to try to make it to the NBA. They sacrifice like 15 years for that. I've seen people sacrifice 5 years to learn how to go work for white people. They go to college. They call that college. College and a master's degree or something like that. 4 years, 5 years, whatever, right?